100 episodes, 5 seasons, one show that redefined science fiction television and left us questioning reality itself. Fringe pulled off something most sci-fi series never manage. It got weirder and more coherent as it went on. When Fringe first aired in 2008, I thought it was just another X-Files wannabe, but I was wrong. This show completely shattered the Monster of the Week formula and rebuilt something entirely new from the pieces. Season 1 feels like standard procedural fare. Weird science, government conspiracies, daddy issues. But creators J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman, and Roberto Orci were playing 4D chess while we were all playing checkers. Every single random case in Season 1 connects perfectly like pieces in a puzzle. And every throwaway line of dialogue, it matters 5 seasons later. The performances here are top quality, especially John Noble as Walter Bishop. This man deserved every Emmy in existence for playing not just one character, but essentially 3 different versions of the same person across multiple timelines. Anna Torv as Olivia Dunham starts off seeming wooden, but that's intentional. Her character development across 5 seasons is some of the best character work in television history. The show cost around $4 million per episode, which was massive for Fox at the time. They almost canceled it after season 2, but fan campaigns literally saved it. The writers had to completely restructure season 4 because they thought they were getting canceled, which actually made the story better. Indeed, sometimes constraints breed creativity. Romantic love, paternal love, love between friends, and love for humanity itself characterize the show. Strip away all the science fiction elements, and you've got one of the most emotionally depriving family dramas ever put on screen. Walter's relationship with Peter drives everything, and when you understand the full scope of what Walter did for love, it'll wreck you. Regarding the cultural impact, Fringe proved that audiences were hungry for complex, serialized science fiction that didn't talk down to them. It paved the way for shows like Westworld, Dark, and Stranger Things. It showed that you could have both procedural elements and an overarching mythology without losing viewers. Now, fair warning, this story spans multiple universes, several timelines, and deals with concepts that would make Stephen Hawking's head spin. But stick with me, because once you see how it all connects, you'll understand why Fringe is considered one of the greatest sci-fi series ever made. Season 1. Our story begins with Agent Olivia Dunham investigating a bizarre case on Flight 627. Each passenger aboard dies horribly, their skin turning transparent before they perish. The only survivor is the co-pilot, who lives just long enough to whisper one word, the pattern. This leads Olivia to Dr. Walter Bishop, a brilliant scientist who spent 17 years in a mental institution. Walter's son, Peter, reluctantly helps get his father released. Walter examines the victims and determines they were killed by a synthetic toxin that shouldn't exist. The trio forms an unlikely team working for FBI Division, a secret government unit investigating unexplained phenomena. Their boss, Philip Broyles, assigns them case after case of impossible events. People age decades in minutes. A woman gives birth to a creature that's definitely not human. Humans spontaneously combust. All of these incidents are connected to something called the pattern. Walter reveals he used to work for a company called Massive Dynamic, conducting fringe science experiments in the 1970s and 80s. His former lab partner, William Bell, now runs this massive corporation. Walter hints at terrible experiments they performed, including testing on children and opening doorways to parallel dimensions. Throughout the season, we learn that Peter has special abilities. He can hear sounds others can't. Electronic devices malfunction around him. Walter watches his son with a mixture of love and fear, dropping cryptic hints about Peter's past. The season's biggest revelation comes when Olivia meets William Bell, but not in our world. She's transported to a parallel universe where the Twin Towers still stand and everything is slightly different. Bell warns her about a war coming between universes, and that Walter is the key to everything. Season 2. Season 2 introduces us to the parallel universe properly. Over there, Olivia has a partner named Charlie Francis, who's actually alive. Our Charlie died Season 1, replaced by a shapeshifter, Bolivia. That's what fans call the alternate Olivia. Has different colored hair and a completely different personality. We meet the alternate versions of our characters. Walternate, the other Walter, is Secretary of Defense and appears to be a respectable scientist. The other Broyles wears an eye patch. Lincoln Lee becomes a major character, working for the alternate Fringe division. The parallel universe is dying. Their version of Earth has experienced the Blight, areas where reality breaks down, creating amber-like substances that freeze everything in place. Walternate blames our universe for this damage, claiming that our Walter's experiments in the 1980s created soft spots between worlds. Peter's true origin is revealed through flashbacks. Walter's son died as a child from a rare genetic disease. Watching his parallel self find a cure, Walter opened a doorway between worlds and kidnapped the other Peter. This This act of desperation, a father unable to let his son die, created the first cracks between universes. Walter brought Peter to our world, but the ice broke while crossing between dimensions. Both would have died, but they were saved by the Observer, a mysterious bald man who appears throughout the series. September, as he's called, helped them survive, but caused additional damage to the universal barrier. Peter grows up in our world, never knowing he's actually from the parallel universe. Walter, consumed by guilt, has his memory portions removed to forget what he did, but the damage between worlds continues growing. The season climaxes with Peter discovering his true identity and crossing back to the parallel universe. He's furious with Walter for lying to him his entire life. Walternet captures Peter, planning to use him as a component in a machine designed to destroy our universe. Season 3. The third season splits time between both universes as the conflict escalates. Olivia crosses to our world. Taking Olivia's place, she infiltrates our Fringe team while Olivia remains trapped in the parallel world, imprisoned in Walternet's facility. Bolivia falls in love with Peter, genuinely caring for him even while spying on our team. Peter, unaware he's with the wrong Olivia, begins a romantic relationship with her. The real Olivia, meanwhile, struggles with memory implants designed to make her believe she belongs in the alternate universe. Both universes prepare for war. Walternet activates shapeshifters in our world, artificial beings designed to infiltrate and weaken our defenses. Walter, desperate to save Peter, begins remembering his past experiments and becomes increasingly willing to cross moral lines. The mythology expands with the introduction of the first people, an ancient civilization that built the machine. This device exists simultaneously in both universes, designed to choose one world to survive while the other is destroyed. Peter is uniquely qualified to operate it because he exists in both universes simultaneously. Olivia discovers she has psychokinetic abilities, enhanced by cortexiphan experiments performed on her as a child. These powers allow her to cross between universes at will, making her incredibly valuable to both sides. She escapes the parallel world and returns to expose Bolivia. The revelation that Peter slept with Bolivia devastates the real Olivia. Their relationship becomes strained as trust issues dominate their interactions. Walter, meanwhile, grows increasingly desperate to prevent losing Peter again. The season builds to Peter entering the machine, which exists as a room-sized device in both universes. As he activates it, he experiences visions of a future where one universe destroys the other, leaving only death and destruction. Realizing the futility of choosing sides, Peter uses the machine to create a bridge between worlds instead of destroying one. But the effort costs him everything. Peter begins disappearing from existence, erased from the timeline. His last words to Walter are forgiveness for kidnapping him, understanding that Walter acted out of love. Peter fades away, and in the final scene, Walter doesn't recognize him. Season 4. Peter's erasure from existence creates a new timeline where he never existed. Walter and Olivia work together but have no memory of Peter. This Walter is more innocent, having never crossed between worlds to steal Peter. He and Olivia have a professional relationship without the deep familial bonds that defined earlier seasons. The universes still suffer damage, but both sides now work together to heal the barriers between worlds. Bridge locations allow travel between universes, and both Fringe teams collaborate on cases affecting both sides. The alternate characters become regular cast members. Lincoln Lee from the parallel world develops feelings for our Olivia. Bolivia and the alternate Charlie work cases on their side. The alternate Astrid, called Astrid, spelled differently, has autism, but demonstrates incredible analytical abilities. Despite being erased, Peter's consciousness persists as a kind of universal constant. The observers, who are mysterious figures that monitor human development, reveal that Peter creates a paradox by existing without being born. His presence becomes increasingly visible to Walter and Olivia. Peter materializes gradually, first as hallucinations, then as a physical presence that only Walter can see. Walter becomes obsessed with proving Peter's existence, conducting experiments to bring him back fully. Olivia experiences dreams and visions of Peter without understanding why. The season introduces new threats as the collaboration between universes faces sabotage. David Robert Jones, a terrorist from Season 1, returns with a plan to collapse the barriers between all parallel worlds. He wants to create a single universe where he can become godlike. Jones experiments with shapeshifters, hybrids, and reality-altering devices. He kidnaps Olivia and Bolivia, performing experiments to enhance their abilities. His goal is to use their combined power to shatter the walls between infinite parallel worlds. Peter's full return coincides with the crisis. His presence stabilizes both universes and allows the teams to work more effectively together. However, his relationship with Olivia remains complicated. She has no memory of their previous relationship, and he must rebuild their connection from scratch. The season climaxes with Jones activating his plan. Reality begins begins breaking down as multiple universes start merging. Peter, Walter, and both Olivias work together to stop the collapse, but success requires sacrifice. The alternate universe team, led by Lincoln Lee, remains behind to seal their world off, ending the collaboration between universes. Season 5. The final season jumps to 2036, revealing a dystopian future where the observers have invaded Earth. These beings, once content to watch human development, decided to colonize our planet after destroying their own future timeline. The observers conquered Earth in 2015, turning humans into slaves and poisoning the atmosphere to suit their needs. Most of humanity lives in subjugation, with resistance movements operating in secret. Technology has advanced dramatically under observer rule, but at the cost of human freedom. Walter, Olivia, Peter, and Astrid emerge from amber preservation, having been frozen in time to escape the initial invasion. They discover that Henrietta Etta Dunham Bishop, Peter and Olivia's daughter, has grown up in this harsh world as a resistance fighter. The family reunion is bittersweet. Etta is now a hardened soldier who barely remembers her parents. She spent years searching for them, becoming a leader in the resistance against the observers. Peter and Olivia struggle to reconnect with their adult daughter while adapting to this new world. Walter reveals his final plan, a series of videotapes containing instructions for defeating the observers. These tapes were scattered across time and space, requiring the team to retrieve them from amber-preserved locations. Each tape contains part of a larger puzzle involving time travel and timeline manipulation. The plan involves traveling to the year 2167, the observers' original time, and preventing their decision to invade the past. This requires a complex series of events including obtaining specific technology, gathering allies, and making ultimate sacrifices. Throughout the season, we learn more about observer society. They evolved from humans who enhanced their intelligence at the cost of emotion. Their invasion wasn't malicious but practical. Their actions in the future made their own timeline uninhabitable, forcing them to colonize the past. September, the observer who has helped the team throughout the series reveals himself as an ally. He develops emotions through his interactions with humans, making him unique among his kind. He becomes crucial to the plan's success. Tragedy strikes when Etta is killed during a mission. Her death devastates Peter and Olivia, but also strengthens their resolve. Peter begins experiencing observer-like abilities, his grief and anger transforming him into something similar to their enemies. Walter's plan requires him to travel to 2167, knowing he'll never return. This Walter, who has spent 5 seasons growing and learning to love again, must sacrifice himself to save humanity. His goodbye to Peter is heartbreaking, a father's final gift to his son. The plan succeeds, the timeline resets, preventing the observer invasion. In the new timeline, September becomes human and lives a normal life. Walter disappears from existence, his sacrifice creating a world where the invasion never happened. The series ends in 2015, with Peter and Olivia living happily with young Etta in a world free from observer oppression. Peter receives a letter from Walter, somehow delivered across time, letting him know that his father is proud of him and asking him to name his son Peter when the time comes. And that's the complete story of Fringe. A story that starts with weird science and ends with the ultimate sacrifice of love. As I mentioned earlier, the beauty of Fringe lies in how every piece connects. That cow in Walter's lab, she's there because Walter needed a test subject for crossing between dimensions. The pattern from season 1, it was the universes trying to balance themselves after Walter's initial breach. Peter's special abilities, he's quantum entangled with both universes simultaneously. What did you think of Walter's final sacrifice? And honestly, which universe would you choose to live in? Ours with our scars and struggles, or the parallel world with its advanced technology? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of one of television's most complex stories, please hit that subscribe button.